Hello everybody and welcome to another video. Now everybody must have seen this one coming a mile off. We're going to be looking at Cellar. Now back when they brought their last album out, The Spell, I went absolutely crazy over it. I reacted to pretty much every single that they released off that album, and I just completely gushed over the entire thing because I really loved it. I thoroughly enjoyed it. So if you didn't see this one coming, well, anyway, so very recently, Cellar released Dance, and that's the track we're going to look at today. Now, as I understand it, I haven't listened to it yet. I've actually put off listening to it specifically for this reason. From what I understand, it is a very long song. I think it is over 10 minutes long. So this is going to be a pretty long reaction video. But, I've covered Cellar quite extensively. So nothing to say about the band. I have lyrics up here. So we'll jump into the track and see what we've got. So, it's Dance by Cellar. Here we go. And there we go. That was Dance by Cellar, Darling. Now, quite an epically long song and brilliantly performed. You know, that actually felt to me like it was heavier than most of the stuff that was on The Spell, their last album. It actually felt heavier to me. But I could just be not remembering it correctly, because it's been a little while since I actually listened to The Spell, because I listened the hell out of it after I got it. But, you know, so it's been a while since I last listened to it. But, you know, another great piece of music by them. You know, they had a really quite long instrumental section in the middle, which explains why the track is so long. It's almost 11 minutes in its entirety. Now, there is a lot of another language in here. Now, initially I thought it was Latin. Before I actually recorded the video, I tried to look it up, but it didn't actually translate. I couldn't find any translation for it. So I don't know what language it's in. It could possibly be Gaelic, it could be Celtic, it could be I don't know what. But anyway, Anna Murphy again. You may have actually seen me during that video looking up on my phone, because I couldn't actually remember for the life of me what her name was. But Anna Murphy again, another brilliant vocal performance. You know, she's got a really good, very powerful voice. She sounds brilliant as always. You know, I can't fault her voice. I think she's got a fantastic voice. In parts of this song, whether it is the combination of the music and her voice, there are parts of it that actually reminded me a little bit of Lacuna Coil. Now, that's got nothing to do with the fact that, it's just a woman singer singing metal. It's got nothing to do with that. She did genuinely, at some parts, remind me of Lacuna Coil. But anyway. The song goes, woe drowns out the silence, free as heathens, around in circles do the torn ones dance. Gara amun iana fria. Now, that line is repeated 8 times at this point. Gara amun iana fria. I have no idea what it means. That's it. I tried looking it up. I initially thought it was Latin, but apparently it's not. So I couldn't tell you what it means. But like I said, that's repeated 8 times. That line is used frequently throughout this track. Led by rhythmic motion, the lucid withers, rupturing the walls of every man, high beyond the mother, circling avians, gracefully inciting one last trance. Gara amuni anafria, and again repeated 4 times. Choreomania, slaying the ever, sheer oblivion, conquering delirium. Oh, the broken, dancing forever, won't atone it. Slay, slaying the ever, lay, with whomever, love, like no other, dance, now or never. Day after night, night after day, they faint away. Unwillingly their limbs are raised towards the sky. Gara amuni anafria, again repeated 4 times. Choreomania, slaying the ever, sheer oblivion, conquering delirium. Oh, the broken, dancing forever, won't atone it. Chorea lasciva. And that one, Chorea lasciva, is repeated 4 times. Now, the fact that it starts with the word chorea makes me think it means dance. Lasciva, I have no idea what that means. I did look it up before, but I forgot it either means something like secret dance or special dance or something like that. That one is Latin. So, I don't know what Gara amuni anafria is, but chorea lasciva, I did look it up. I'm going to look it up again just now. It means, chorea lasciva means playful dance. There you go. Just quickly looked it up there. And, you know, I'm not sure exactly what this is about, but it sounds like a dancing plague. You know, people dancing and just can't stop themselves. Especially right towards the end, because, I mean, they make the reference to choreomania. So choreomania is like dancing mania. So, you know, whether it's compulsive dancing or you're dancing and you can't stop, I don't know exactly what that is. So it's just choreomania, slaying the ever, sheer oblivion, conquering delirium. Oh, the broken, dancing forever. So, is there some? Is it talking about like people unwillingly dancing, but enjoying every moment of it and possibly dancing until they die? I don't know. Um, I mean, it even says here, day after night, night after day, they faint away. Unwillingly, their limbs are raised towards the sky. So it's that last bit there. Unwillingly, their limbs are raised to the sky, and they're dancing day after day, night after night. They're constantly dancing, and they can't seem to stop. No matter what they do, they just can't stop. They're just carrying on dancing. And I don't know. Something about this sounds familiar, like a dancing plague. I'm sure I've heard something similar to it before. But I don't know. But again, like I said, brilliant piece of music. Anna Murphy, again, knocking it out of the park with her vocal performance. Absolutely fantastic. Absolutely loved it. Musically, again, I feel, like I said, I feel that was actually a slightly heavier track than I'm used to from them. Not as much in the sort of folk music side of music as there normally is either. There was a lot less hurdy-gurdy in that than there was in other previous tracks, but it was still there. I think it's a fantastic track, and I'm going to have to get my hands on this actual single or EP. I'm not sure whether it's actually a standalone EP, like when My Dying Bride did the Barghest of Whitby. So I'm going to look into getting my hands on it anyway, because I really like it, and I really like Cellar, Darling, as we've examined before when I covered pretty much every video that they released off the spell. But anyway, I can't really think of much else I can say about that track, so I'm going to leave that as it is. Now, if anybody would like to suggest a track for me to react to, then please do so. By all means, you can drop a comment in the comment section below, or message me on my Facebook or my Instagram, or you can even message me through my Patreon, where you could also help to support this channel, which would of course be a great help to me, since all of my content gets demonetized. So I don't see anything from all this material I create. I make absolutely nothing from any of it, which I think is a little bit unfair, considering the percentage of artist material compared to my own material. It seems a little unfair to me, but that's just the way it is. Not much I can do about it. So obviously, it would be a great help to me if you could help to support the channel. There is an option in Patreon where you can get your suggestion jumped to the front of the queue, should you so desire it. There is a limitation on how frequently you can do that, and that's just to be fair to people who suggest tracks through more regular means, such as Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube comments. If you do suggest a track through those more regular means, do know it could take me a while to get around to your suggestion, since I do get suggested so many new tracks every single day that my list grows faster than I can record the videos. But I do write down every suggestion I get, so it will get done eventually. It just might take me a while to get around to it, I'm afraid. Also, Metalhead Reacts is a proud supporter of the Sophie Lancaster Foundation, a British-based charity whose main goal is to put an end to hate crimes. And one of the main facets of that is hate crimes against people of the alternative culture. And that's how the foundation came into being in the first place. And that's something I believe in very, very strongly. Because it's something that's been going on for years. It's been going on for decades. But it's something that is widely ignored. Nobody ever talks about it. Every day we hear about all these other hate crimes like sexism, racism, homophobia, transphobia, religious hatred, ableism, etc. We hear about these things every single day, from the most heinous and violent of these crimes, where someone is murdered because of the colour of their skin, or their sexual identity, or their religious beliefs, down to the most petty and pathetic of these crimes, where some entitled white woman is calling the police because a family of colour are having a picnic in a public space. We hear every facet of these every single day in every media platform available. But we never hear about these people that are getting beaten to within an inch of their lives just because of the music that they listen to. And it is a very real problem that needs to be addressed. The last time there was any widespread talk of this sort of thing was 13 years ago, when Sophie Lancaster and her boyfriend Rob Maltby were violently attacked and brutally beaten. They were punched, kicked, and had their heads stamped on by a group of people. A group of 5 or 6 people against these two. And they were beaten so severely that they both ended up in comas. Now, Rob Maltby, he did thankfully survive. He was in a coma for around about a week, possibly a bit longer. I can't remember exactly how long, but he did thankfully survive. Sophie Lancaster, on the other hand, she was in a coma for 13 days before she succumbed to her injuries and she died. This young woman was 20 years old and she was brutally beaten to death just because of her taste of music and clothing. Now, when this happened, this was all over the news. Several weeks, several months, this was all over the news, as it damn well should have been. But as all things do, after a while, it faded away. And in the 13 years since that's happened, we've not heard a single thing else of a similar vein. But I know for a fact that in those 13 years, there have been several hundred, if not several thousand, similar cases of what happened to Sophie Lancaster that have happened in the UK alone. But nothing's been said or done. Not a single word. And that's because nobody's died. And that is unacceptable. We should not have to wait for someone to lose their life before this sort of thing gets spoken about. We shouldn't have to wait for someone to die before we take action and do something about this problem. It's unacceptable. You don't hear of people getting beaten half to death because they like different TV shows or different movies. You don't hear people getting beaten to within an inch of their life because they like different flavoured crisps or different flavoured ice creams. But for some reason, people get beaten so brutally and so severely for liking different kinds of music and because they wear different kinds of clothing. It is outrageous. And nothing is getting said. Nothing is getting done. And by ignoring it, we're letting the people who commit these crimes think that they can get away with it. Because they're not facing any repercussions from this. They're just getting on with their lives thinking, haha, I beat up a goth. What a day. And that is unacceptable. We cannot allow it to carry on. A couple of years ago, there was a young woman in Scotland. She was running a charity gig in a venue, and at one point during the evening, she had to go back to her home for whatever reason, which was a 5-minute walk away from the venue. In the time between her leaving the venue and getting to her home, she was attacked twice by the same group of people. And again, she was kicked, punched, knocked to the ground, and beaten severely. Twice, in the space of 5 minutes. Now, had a passing taxi driver not put an end to it, there's every chance that this young woman could have ended up the same way as Sophie Lancaster. Where was this in the news? I didn't hear a goddamn thing about it until a friend of mine told me about it. And this happened in Scotland, and that's a 4-mile walk from where I live. I didn't hear a thing about it until someone else told me about it. Why wasn't it in the news? If that taxi driver hadn't been passing at that specific time, that young woman could have easily been beaten to death, just like Sophie Lancaster. So why didn't we hear anything about it in the news? Unacceptable. Just because they listen to alternative music, just because they wear alternative clothing, doesn't mean they're any less entitled to justice than anybody else. Something needs to be done. And this is what the Sophie Lancaster Foundation is all about. They want to bring more attention to the fact that these sorts of things are happening. They want more people to start talking about what a problem this really is. Because it's only a matter of time before what happens to Sophie Lancaster happens to someone else. And if we keep ignoring it, that's going to come pretty damn quickly. And we cannot allow that to happen. It's something that never should have happened in the first place, but we most certainly cannot allow it to happen again. So if you'd like to find out more about the Sophie Lancaster Foundation, there is a link to their website in the description below. You can go over there, find out what they're working on at the moment, find out what their main goal is, because they can explain it a hell of a lot better than I can. And if you can help them out in any small way, obviously don't feel obligated to do so, but if you can help them out in any small way, whether it's a small donation through their website or something as simple as one of these safety wristbands, maybe even this one, they've got a whole bunch of other stuff as well, if you're interested. But the smallest amount can make the biggest difference, and the sooner we get more people talking about this, the sooner we raise more awareness of the fact that this is happening, that of the scale of the problem that this is, the sooner we can help to stamp out prejudice, hatred, and intolerance everywhere. But I'm going to leave that as it is for the time being. Thank you all very, very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye bye.